What is this place?
It used to be an old war mine facility. Now it's our base of operations.
So you fight against Dredgen Yor?
Exactly. But enough about us. Who are you? You look and sound like Osiris, but, well, you can't be him.
I am Osiris, but I'm not from your reality.
How did you get here, then?
Praedyth escaped to my reality via the Infinite Forest, and Dredgen Yor came after him. I followed Yor to this reality.
Straight into the clutches of Sate 14. What did he tell you about this world?
He said Dredgen Yor stormed the tower and burned it to the ground. All of the Guardians either died or were forced to serve him.
That's what Dredgen Yor wants people to believe. The truth is more complicated. Not all of us were killed in the attack on the city, and not all of us knelt before Yor.
How long have you been fighting?
Ever since the attack, which was, 5 years ago?
Almost 6, actually.
Right. Right now, we only stay alive because we lay low and don't take risks. But if we want to make some real progress, we have to do something substantial.
How many of you are there?
4.
Only 4?
There used to be more of us, back in the day. But after the attack on the city, and Toland, and Oryx...
Save the history lessons for later, Wei. Right now, we need to figure out how Osiris can help us.
I can give you a brief outline of my reality. That might help you figure out a strategy you might have missed. But for now, I want to meet the other Resistance fighters.
Alright, I'll round them up. Meet us back here in 3 hours.
You said there were 4 of you. I only count 3.
I just...
Osiris, this is Pahanin.
Would it kill you to install an escalator in here?
He's a little... unstable.
I am perfectly stable, thank you. Who's the new Goldilocks guy?
I'm Osiris.
No, you're not. Sweet cosplay, though.
It's true. He's from another reality.
Can I wake up now? Because this dream is really weird. I mean, either that or Marcus has spiked my drink again. Pesky brat.
Is he always like this?
Shut up, you're not even real!
Do you want to test that?
Both of you, enough! Osiris, stand down. Pahanin?
Yes?
Ugh. Just shut up.
Yes, mother.
Good. Now let's get down to business.
The Dredgen Yor in my world was killed by Shin Malphur at Dwindler's Ridge. Why didn't this happen here?
Shin Malphur did fight Dredgen Yor at Dwindler's Ridge, but in our reality, Shin lost.
Why?
We don't know. Nobody does.
All we know is this. A few months after the showdown at Dwindler's Ridge, Dredgen Yor attacked the city, as you know. He killed or conscripted most of the Guardians there, then razed the entire place to the ground. After that, he retreated to his fortress in the Dreaming City. He commanded an army of Guardians, and he put them to work. Against the Fallen, the Cabal, the Hive, even the Vex, even human settlements. In short, anything and anyone that refused to conform to his regime. The Fallen are now extinct, and so are the Cabal. Rumor has it that Dredgen Yor fought and killed Emperor Callus himself.
What about the Vex?
The Vex were driven out of the solar system, practically. Dredgen Yor's army broke their grip on Venus and Mars, and flushed them out of Nessus and Io. Aside from a couple of scattered regiments on Mercury, they can only be found in the Vault of Glass.
Interesting. Has Dredgen Yor launched any attacks on the Vault of Glass?
No, which is weird for him. Usually he doesn't leave things alone, but I guess he doesn't want to risk the most powerful guys on the Vault when it's just sitting there and not doing anything.
You sound like you've had experience with the Vault.
I wouldn't call it that. There was a guy called Kabir, and he was like really crazy. He wanted me to join him in his madcap plan to break into the Vault. I refused, so he went in alone. Nobody's seen him alive since.
Anyway, the big problem Dredgen Yor had was with the Hive. He knew his army wasn't strong enough to face down Crota, so he enlisted some help.
Toland the Shattered.
Yes, Dredgen Yor sent his 2 most trusted commanders to find Toland. They convinced him to put aside his hatred for Yor to fight Crota together. Unfortunately for them, they succeeded.
And then Oryx arrived.
Oryx showed up in your world too. Huh. Guess our realities are more similar than we thought. Anyway, this sparked a war that lasted 3 years. It was terrible. There was supposed to be a ceasefire between us and Dredgen Yor, so we were technically on the same side, fighting Oryx together. But Yor kept playing games, kept hiding intel, showing up at our combat briefings just to spook us. Eventually, Oryx launched a major offensive on Venus, where our resistance was based. Somehow, Dredgen Yor got word of the attack, but instead of warning us, he set up an ambush, used us as bait. Oryx's dreadnought bombarded Venus, destroying most of the planet. Thousands of Guardians were killed. Most of them were Yor's forces stationed on the ground, but a couple of them weren't. Eris Morn, Sai Moda, Omar Aga, Vel Tarlo, they were good people. They didn't deserve to die like that.
How was Oryx killed?
Oryx's assault on Venus left his dreadnought vulnerable to attack. Toland and Dredgen Yor infiltrated the dreadnought and somehow managed to kill Oryx.
And then Toland led an assassination attempt on Dredgen Yor.
He tried to recruit me for that, actually. Toland told me he needed my help, but I said no. I never liked him anyway. He was a complete creep.
And who are you again?
Marcus Ren, fastest rider in the solar system.
Why would he want you?
I don't know, but I wasn't the only one he asked. He ended up with a team of 4 others. Toland somehow figured out the location of Dredgen Yor's fortress, and him and his team fought Yor in his own throne room. Toland was the only one who escaped.
Where is he now?
We don't know. He vanished after his failed assassination attempt.
Toland knows the exact location of Dredgen Yor's fortress. That now makes him the most valuable person in the solar system. We need to work on finding him.
It's not that simple. Toland doesn't want to be found. And even if we get the location of Dredgen Yor's fortress out of him, we'd still have to contend with the shadows.
Shadows?
That's what Yor calls his 2 most senior commanders. You've already met one of them, actually.
Saint 14, I assume. Who's the other one?
A Sunbreaker called Oros. She used to be a mercenary, but now she works for Yor. She's fiercely devoted to him, more so than Saint 14. And she has a reputation for not leaving any survivors.
When I spoke to Saint 14, he seemed conflicted. If we could appeal to his moralistic side, we might be able to convince him to turn against Dredgen Yor.
Good luck with that. Saint 14 has been brainwashed and conditioned to obey his master. That sort of hold is difficult to break.
It's still an option we could consider. Who else should I know about?
Oh, tell him about the Outrider.
Here we go.
Who's the Outrider?
Oh, she's just beautiful.
Bahanian has a crush on her, if you couldn't tell, despite the fact that she tried to kill him.
That was one time.
Tell me about her.
All right. Her real name is Maren Masanis. She's a mercenary who works for Dredgen Yor. She's a cracked shot with a bow, and she's got gorgeous locks of urban hair and eyes like a glittering emeralds. Which isn't relevant, I guess.
If she's a mercenary, then our loyalty can be bought. That's something we should look into.
Even if we eliminate the shadows, that still doesn't guarantee victory. Dredgen Yor managed to fend off 5 guardians at once when Toland tried to assassinate him, and his gun Thorn can drain a guardian's light with a single shot. We'll need a strategy to take him down.
I think I have an idea about that. What happened to the Osiris in this reality?
It's complicated. Our Osiris tried to integrate himself into the Vex network in order to fight Dredgen Yor, but he underestimated how powerful the Vex were.
So what happened to him?
He went insane. He spent 5 years in the Infinite Forest, being tortured by the Vex. In the end, his mind just broke. The Vex let him out once they realized he was useless to them. He made his way back to our base here, but in the end, the trauma was too much. He killed himself a week after his arrival on Io.
I'm sorry.
That was hard on everyone.
Still, I would have liked to talk to him. He didn't leave any research notes or anything. Nothing that could help us?
Not that we could find.
What about the Ahamkara?
They were all hunted to extinction.
I've heard that before.
Dredgen Yor fought and killed the Ahamkara personally, and he never leaves anything to chance.
So much for your grand idea, Osiris.
Do you have a plan? Because the last time I checked, you were all too scared to do anything drastic.
Our plan was to use Praedyth as a spy and get him to report back to us.
But Dredgen Yor caught him.
Exactly. Praedyth managed to send us one last message before he disappeared.
I don't have much time. Ariana, you were right. He's making me build some kind of technology that'll let him travel through the Vex network. Think of it as a teleporter to other worlds, other dimensions. It's almost complete. If he uses it to escape from this reality, he'll conquer universe after universe, too fast and too strong to be stopped. He'll be invincible. I'm doing as much as I can to stall for time, but Yor's too smart. He already suspects that I'm not being truthful with him, and if he finds out I'm working with the Resistance... Look, I'm going to put the finishing touches on that teleporter of his. Maybe I can make my way to another reality and come back with some reinforcements or something. It'll probably take Dredgen Yor at least a couple of hours to notice I'm gone, so I shouldn't get caught. Now...
Hello, Praedyth. What are you doing here?
Oh, shit.
From what we can understand, Praedyth managed to fight off Oryx and escape using the teleporter.
Except he underestimated how fast Dredgen Yor would be. Praedyth only barely made it to my reality before he was killed.
Which puts an end to that plan.
We'll need to come up with another strategy. For now, I need Pahanin and Marcus Ren working on finding Toland. Me and Ariana are going to do some more digging into Dredgen Yor. As for you, Osiris...
I'll do some research into the history of this reality. I want to see if there's anything we missed here.
Alright. Let's get to work.
You summoned me, sir.
The scholar is here.
Osiris, yes. I tried to bring him in,
But you failed.
the Resistance showed up.
Disappointing, but not unexpected. The Resistance will be bolder now that they have a new recruit among their ranks. You two must redouble your efforts if you want to eradicate them.
Yes, sir.
We've been fighting this resistance for 6 years. Now they've got their hands on some of their dimension's version of Osiris. We need more than just a speech. We need a new strategy.
If you disapprove of my tactics, you are more than welcome to come up with your own.
Well, we could start by actually attacking the Resistance instead of waiting for them to show up. And whose bright idea was it to have Saint 14 stationed on Mercury alone? From now on, none of us go anywhere without backup.
You think you're better than Saint 14?
He is weak. I am not.
No. You're just better at hiding your flaws. It terrifies you, doesn't it? Knowing that I can see right through your facade of strength. You'd never show it, but deep down you're just as insecure as Saint 14. Just as sad and lonely and scared. The only difference between you and him is you've buried those feelings deep, in a desperate effort to hide them from everyone else. Everyone except me.
If you want to fight, come and get it.
You like to start fights, don't you? I think it's because it's the only thing you know how to do.
Stop trying to get inside of my head. Either shut up or fight me.
Now leave me, both of you.
Are you sure you can trust these two?
They have their uses.
And what about me? Am I expendable to you?
Everything is expendable to me. Did you recover Praedyth's body?
Not yet, sir.
Then I suggest you go do that.
Yes, sir.